Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Nolene Ebel-Ame. Let's begin with the headlines. President urges governors to implement Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy.
There is no autonomy without funded mandates. We'll give them their money.
President Bola Tinubu to present 2026 national budget to the National Assembly for consideration. Transport workers seek fair concession and privatization practices to protect jobs. Creative economy as U.S. mission in Nigeria encourages young skip makers.
The young Nigerians have benefited from the capacity building sessions and even with events like this. And going forward, it will just only help them promote more Nigerian goods. So they've been empowered.
We begin the broadcast from the National Assembly, where President Bola Tinubu will today present to a joint session of the National Assembly the 2026 National Budget Estimate for consideration and passage. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and other proceedings at the Senate.
Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief, will present the annual budget for year 2026 for the kind consideration of the National Assembly.
3 presidential communications were read in the course of plenary proceedings in the Red Chamber, first of which is the notification to present to the joint session federal government's fiscal proposals for 2026. Another request from the President is the 2025 budget of the Niger Delta Development Commission, as well as the confirmation request of the newly appointed Chief Executive Officers of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency and the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. The confirmation process of the 2 appointees was expedited as they were invited immediately for screening to enable confirmation Friday. Senate had, at the commencement of plenary, confirmed 34 career and 30 non-career ambassadors appointed on the 4th of December by President Bola Tinubu, Senators Sahabi Ya'u and Ireti Kingibe, after the confirmation noted that Zamfara State and the Federal Capital Territory have no representation in the ambassadorial appointments.
I would want us to draw the attention of Mr. President that Zamfara State needs his, we need also to be included.
We've always had an ambassador and we're not included in this list.
I assure you that I will take it up with Mr. President and it shall be addressed. The list of ambassador nominees is not exhaustive.
Plenary was adjourned to Friday as Nigeria's bicameral legislature is set to host President Bola Tinubu for the laying of the annual budget. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still staying with Lami Ali at the National Assembly, let's now join her live to give us, the look, the atmosphere out there. Lami, are you online? Okay, good morning to you. Please, can you give us a rundown of what the process will be like, the presentation of budget by the President today?
Thank you so much, Nolene. Well, Friday is not a traditional sitting day for both chambers, but as requested by the President that he will be here today, Friday, to lay the 2026 budget estimate for consideration and passage by the two chambers at the House of Representatives. the two chambers graciously approved the request of the president. Now, since early morning, security presence has been heightened at the National Assembly. The media are all set for the coverage of this very special event. And this will be the 5th time that Mr. President will be at the National Assembly. He was here in 2023 for the laying of the budget. Last year, 2024, he was here, and today he is being expected to carry out the same process of transmitting the national budget. Now, earlier in the year, specifically in June, on June 12, Mr. President was also here to celebrate June 12 with his colleagues, because he was at one time a serving member of the Nigerian Senate. So he came here to celebrate with them the June 12 Democracy Day, which has been official for the 3 years budget of 2026, 2027, and 2028. From what we cited in the documents that have been approved by both chambers, the oil price that has been approved as presented to as presented by the executive to the National Assembly is that for 2026 the production rate is 1.8 per day, and then the price of each barrel will be $60 per barrel. Then the exchange rate is 1,512 naira to the dollar. And then the total budget package is 54 trillion naira, while the projected revenue is 34 trillion naira. So, but we do not know whether there are going to be some additions or subtractions, but these are what the two chambers have approved based on what was presented by the executive. So we shall await the coming of Mr. President and see what the total package is going to be.
All right, thank you very much for your extensive briefing on the coming of the President to the National Assembly today, and of course the issues that have been treated before. Thank you so much, Lamia Lee.
Thank you.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu has urged state governors to ensure implementation of the Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. The president spoke at the National Caucus meeting of the All Progressives Congress APC in Abuja. The meeting at Conference Center of the State House also had Vice President Kashim Shettima, former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio in attendance. Sitting and past state governors, National Assembly members, and other stakeholders were equally in attendance, while governors of Bayelsa, Rivers, Enugu, Delta, and Rivers State, who recently defected to the party, joined the caucus for the first time. President Tinubu says, as part of ways to position the country for the better, the local government autonomy must be effective.
The local government autonomy, it is and must be effective. Let us give them. There is no autonomy without funded mandates. We'll give them their money directly. That's the truth. That's compliance with the Supreme Court.
He also expressed belief that with the popularity of the ruling party in the country, the idea of state police may soon be achieved. Various speakers at the meeting appraised the policies and programs of President Tinubu's administration and commended what they described as bold and courageous policies leading to wider popularity and size of the party.
So the Senate commend you once again. We did that in the chambers for the intervention you had to undertake in Benin Republic to stabilize democracy there. I thought we should clap for the president. Thank you, Mr. President, for a courageous decision. We have also taken steps in the Senate to take bold decisions aimed at deterring those who want to join banditry. One of which is we have ensured that kidnapping joins the rank and file of terrorism, and therefore kidnappers will now face death sentence once the president assigns the new bill into law.
Looking ahead, 2026 should be approached as a year of consolidation and delivery. The focus must be on translating reform momentum into tangible outcomes for all Nigerians.
Our party continues to grow in strength and national acceptance through the visionary leadership of Mr. President, whose achievement has yielded great results for the nation's economy. As a party, we are supporting Mr. President with a robust membership drive that is consolidating our structures across the Federation. Recent political development underscored APC's pan-Nigerian character, including significant defections that have further expanded our influence, particularly in recent several high-profile individuals and groups.
What we are witnessing today is not only satisfying, but has encouraged Nigerians, both those at home and in diaspora, to rise in unison, to commend that we now have a better economy as a country. We have a better political space as a country. The environment has allowed the rule of law to thrive, but we must be united.
The caucus meeting held ahead of the National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the party slated for today, Friday. In the meantime, the National Working Caretaker Committee of the People's Democratic Party, loyal to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, says the party remains strong and indivisible. This resolution was among others after its meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This meeting of the National Working Caretaker Committee, chaired by Abdurrahman Mohammed, deliberated and reviewed events surrounding the PDP, aside resolving that there is only one genuine and legitimate PDP, headed by Abdurrahman Mohammed, and loyal to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The National Caretaker Committee warned those allegedly putting the image of the party to disrepute to refrain from that forthwith.
The claims making round in the media that Turaki illegal ESCO has been accepted by INEC are false. We therefore challenge Turaki to produce the code with which he uploaded his ESCO to INEC portal.
We may be hearing and seeing a gathering of meeting here and there. The public should not be panicked. We have only one PDP under my leadership and my team as the caretaker committee of our great party.
The National Caretaker Committee further ratified the dissolution of some state working committees while confirming the caretaker committees in those states, while assigning portfolios to some of its members for effective discharge of the duties conferred on them. The Caretaker Committee approved the calendar for the conduct of state congresses starting from January 9th, 2026, after which the National Convention follows. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
You are still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Let's pause here for a break. Stay with us.
Bathy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections, classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million Naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million pavilion and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
Tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. The federal government is taking decisive measures to revive the abandoned headquarters building of Government Press to end several years of neglect and waste of resources. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, while on an assessment tour of the facility in Abuja, says the abandoned project is inconsistent with the federal government's renewed focus on accountability. Salihu Abdullahi Gonara reports.
Effective communication of government activities enhances public trust. In order to tell good stories, the government storyteller believes the new strategy, in addition to the traditional ministerial press briefings, will add value to information flow and boost credibility.
There is a need for us to identify key ministries and go to them and learn more about what they do. It's not just to wait for them or invite them for the periodic periserial press briefing that we hold at Radio House. There's a need for us to also reach out to them to understand what they do, for them to also understand us. And I said I was going to come with also some heads, critical heads of some of the agencies here that you need to reach Nigerians so that they can understand what you do. It is said in the communication parlance that 50% of the execution is actually in the communication, meaning that if you don't communicate, you have done nothing. What is not known has never happened or has never taken place. And therefore, we feel we will kickstart these visits to key ministries.
Health, they say, is not only wealth, but central to development. The Ministry of Health and Social Welfare was the first port of call where the government image promoter took his first dose of information directly from those driving the renewed hope reform policies in the health sector.
So I want to say that your visit essentially is very timely because you and your agencies can help tell more of the story of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's successes in health. And you've came to the right starting point for your visit, because without health, there's nothing else. There's no work, there's no farm, there's no trading, there's no business, there's no manufacturing, there's no infrastructure, there's no driving, there's nothing. Health is so critical, and I think that's the wisdom that the President had in prioritizing health transformation out of his renewed hope agenda.
This is very, very good initiative. I think that for us in the health sector, because most of the time what we do are not physical, when you give 14 million people immunization, it's not physically seen. And people may not appreciate it when compared to doing 20 kilometers of road. Or, so we deeply appreciate this visit, which helps us to push out these things that we're doing.
And we want to say thank you, Honorable Minister, for coming. You have come to the right place. The coordinating minister and the Minister of State, alongside the top management, which includes all heads of agencies, have done quite a lot in the last 2 years under the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. And I'm very sure that your visit here today, after you leave, sir, you would want to come back because there's so much to give you about the health sector.
The minister was accompanied by heads of relevant agencies under his watch, who are at the forefront of redefining government communication and ensuring that Nigerians fully understand ongoing reforms in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the federal government is urging stakeholders to support ongoing concession and privatization as key strategies for improving efficiency across Nigeria's transport sector. This is as Nigeria hosts the International Transport Workers Federation Conference in Abuja. Joseph Hussein reports.
Seafarers, dock workers, aviation, railway and road transportation workers across the world converge to examine issues surrounding concession and privatization as they impact on the workers in the transport sector.
While concession assists to improve efficiency, infrastructure development, and service delivery, we must also critically examine the viability models, the social impact, and the legal implications for millions of workers whose livelihoods depend on a stable, fair, and well-governed transport sector.
You can imagine just from Lagos to Abuja, taking you up to 250,000 naira. To and fro is about 500,000 naira. That is a very big money for you to celebrate your Christmas and New Year. And people must move. So this country is our country. We must have to play a very pivotal role in trying to address some of all these challenges.
Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Olumfonsho Adebi, assures the workers of fair practices that will rather create windows of opportunities for employment, citing similar reform in the telecommunications sector that improved service delivery and operational efficiency.
Your structure, your level of cooperation within you in the transport sector is extremely commendable.
We think technology would need to be part of a concession conversation. We would want either to upskill the existing workers or attract new sets of workers with the right skills. Bearing in mind we need to work out what you do with the current people that serve the transport network into the next level.
As government extends its concession and privatization to the transport infrastructure, the roadmap here is for stakeholders to collaborate with government towards improving services in all the modes of transportation to reduce over-reliance on a single transport system. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Now, a survey on elite consensus that will guide national development has been presented to the public and commissioned at a stakeholders capacity workshop. The research is being produced and facilitated by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, an arm of the National Assembly. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
This is the third time NILS is engaging stakeholders on this project with a view to charting the way forward on key sectors of national development. Stakeholders appreciated Nigerians for their support and inputs, stressing that working together by putting the country first, Nigeria will surmount its current challenges.
Over the course of 2 months, dedicated academics selected from universities nationwide served as regional and state coordinators, as well as research assistants Every step from data cleaning to report writing and thematic analysis was meticulously executed to ensure that no critical issue was overlooked.
We must remember our shared responsibility to this country and over our prayer and support. Nigeria is our home. If there's any way I can assist this institute in this journey, please count on my commitment to this national discourse.
The project is massive and capital intensive, but no sacrifice is too much in fixing our country and charting a course for meaningful development and progress.
A national summit on elite consensus building for development in Nigeria is billed to hold in the first quarter of 2026. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, is set to strengthen enforcement of safety regulations, improve monitoring systems, and promote a culture of professionalism and expand facilities that support water transportation to drive the federal government's economic expansion, making inland waterways reliable alternative means of transportation in Nigeria. Newly appointed board chairman of the authority, Mukhtar Shehu Shagari, gave the assurance when he led his team on a visit to NIWA's headquarters in Lokoja. Solomon Ayedehe reports.
The visit by the newly appointed board of directors, led by its chairman, Mukhtar Shehu Shagari, to NIWA's headquarters in Lokoja, is to enable the team familiarize themselves with the management and staff of the authority. It is also to foster a robust opportunity to interact towards forging a common front aimed at repositioning NIWA for effective service delivery, in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
For NIWA, this agenda aligns perfectly with our mandate to transform Nigeria's inland waterways into safe, efficient, and economically vibrant corridors of national development.
At a meeting with the management and staff of the authority, NIWA's acting managing director, Umar Yusuf Gurey, commends President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for appointing credible personalities into NIWA's board. He listed some of his challenges to include funding, operation and jurisdiction conflict with other sister parastatals, and lack of infrastructure on navigable waterways.
Your appointment comes at a critical time in the evolution of NIWA. And we are confident that your wealth of experience, leadership capacity, and commitment to national development will greatly enhance the attainment of the mandate of the authority.
They resolve to collaborate to ensure effective delivery of NIWA's mandate in line with the national development goals and the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. The National Inland Waterways Authority was established by Decree 13 of 1997 with a mandate to develop, regulate, and manage the over 3,000 navigable inland waterways in Nigeria for safer transportation of passengers, goods, and services. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehe, NTA News.
Let's take the second break on this bulletin. The news returns shortly.
Let's have credible elections at the local government so that these credible people can manage the funds of local government properly.
There are a lot of respected traditional rulers in the state who can say, look, enough of this thing. Mr. Governor, welcome. Thank you for coming. When you win, what will you do?
I was the first government that mobilized women within the local government to form the National Council of Women Society. By creating awareness in women that they must serve, they must be part of what is happening within their community.
If you stop expenditure on infrastructure, how do you now attract investments?
The state governors, the presidency, that the federal government and the local government are all waiting for revenue from crude oil. Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do three things. Prevent
prevent the ability of the terrorist groups to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and then their ability to access weapons.
Actually, like this here, title, I sit in the front row in the church. If I'm going to mosque and calling people are passing in God's own house, what am I doing? I'm mentoring a new generation. Those things that the only way to be taken seriously is to be seen to have a lot of money.
Nigeria, live every weekday between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NCN. This is...
Thank you for being there. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has made presentation of 200,000 naira each to 250 elderly women in Kogi State to cushion the effects of hardships during the festive period. Ajibola Christopher reports that the wife of the president made the presentation through the wife of Kogi State Governor Sefinat Ahmed Usman Ododo in Lokoja.
Of 200,000 naira to each of the vulnerable elderly women from ages 65 and above across the 21 local government areas of Kogi State. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of Kogi State Governor Sefinat Ahmed Usman Ododo, says since the inception of the present administration in 2023, the Renewed Hope Initiative had made it a tradition to celebrate senior citizens every December in recognition of their valuable contribution to nation building. The gesture she mentioned caught across the 36 states, including the Police Officers' Wives Association.
My advice to our senior citizens is to do all that is possible to find joy in old age. Let us also find purpose in community, compassion and care. Let us remember that aging graceful is not about longevity, but about being surrounded by love and support and respect.
The wife of the president calls on well-to-do women and organizations to extend support to the less privileged in the society, most especially during this season of celebration, in order to receive God's rewards.
I cannot even show her how I am happy. God will bless her.
The two way you do, nobody did do them before.
All the time you keep on feeding the women, keep on feeding the less privileged ones, keep on feeding the youth. May God Almighty reward her.
The Renewed Hope Initiative under President Tinubu's administration primarily focuses on creating jobs, empowering women and youth, providing financial support, as well as fostering economic growth, all aimed at lifting Nigerians out of poverty. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
From Lokoja, we take you to Kano, where the MIA Foundation has rolled out a pilot training program in Kano, targeting 200 women with practical skills in modern farming techniques and community engagement. Aisha Wadakura reports that the initiative is aimed at strengthening women's economic capacity, fostering self-reliance, and driving sustainable development within their communities that will create a lasting impact.
Mata Iyayan Al-Umma Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting women and families across Nigeria, has launched a 3-day pilot training program for 200 women in Kano. The training focuses on modern farming practices, combining classroom instruction with hands-on field demonstrations. Ado Kurawa, Serkin Father Kano, representing His Royal Highness Emir Muhammad Sanusi II, alongside stakeholders, traditional rulers, and government officials, commended the initiative, noting that it takes potential to empower women and contribute positively to the socio-economic development of Kano State. Hajia Farida, Executive Director of Mata Iyayan Al-Umma Foundation, explained that the program is designed to open up new opportunities and drive meaningful progress for women.
At the end of the day, we hope that women will be better informed with modern farming practices.
The program is designed to address this gap by equipping women with the knowledge, skills, and tools required to participate effectively and competitively in agricultural value chains.
With lots of awareness and lots of sensitization
And of course, the economy itself have made women realize that it's a sustainable means of income.
The program is expected to promote sustainable development and ensure lasting impact for women in their communities.
If I've been trained here, I also have a land. I would like to train others.
When I learn how to do this kind of Noma, I will teach my friend, my sisters, and my brothers.
The program is expected to promote sustainable development and ensure lasting impact for women and their communities.
All right, Aisha Wadakura's report there from Kano. A collaborative skit-making workshop organized by the U.S. Mission in Nigeria rolled its curtains recently, awarding top 3 creators while leaving other participants with fresh ideas and a renewed sense of creative ownership. Ekemini Williams has details.
The Skits Masterclass, held at the Lagos Innovation Hub, brought together a mix of seasoned content creators and aspiring youths eager to sharpen their storytelling skills. The 2-day event featured panel discussions, hands-on editing sessions, and mentorship moments that emphasized practical, real-world application of skit production.
Tonight is not just about awards, it is about validation. Validation that our ideas matter, that partnerships between Nigeria and the United States can empower storytellers.
Participants left with a portfolio of short videos and a clear plan to leverage digital tools for wider reach. After the masterclass, 58 entries of skits were received, with the best top 3 skits selected.
You've arrived at your destination.
Third runner-up went to Jane Francis, second place went to Tito Abumere, and the grand prize went to Rashidat Fagbele.
Yes, thank you to U.S. Missions for making me take my first flight yesterday. I'm very proud. I've never been on air, so they provided that. And I'm actually grateful for this opportunity. It does not just come by. Thank you for seeing the quality and professionalism in my video. I'm very, very grateful.
Facilitators, who described the event as personally rewarding, said they were able to share minimal but powerful techniques that helped participants own their creativeness and develop strategies for visual storytelling.
So we would agree that in promoting their own trade, avenues like this or opportunities like this are very important in terms of selling these ideas. But then the other thing that you must understand that the young Nigerians have benefited from the capacity building sessions and even with events like this. And going forward, it will just only help them promote more of Nigerian goods. So they've been empowered, but of course the Americans are saying pay attention to what we're doing, but the Nigerians are also saying, you know what, we can go forward and sell our own products now.
The Skits Masterclass is expected to be the first of a series of capacity-building events aimed at fostering innovation and cross-cultural dialogue through digital storytelling. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Still on winning contest, the NTA, NCDMB and Science Teachers Association of Nigeria STAN annual science quiz competition, Grab a Star, has ended with Kayama Grammar School emerging the overall winner in a keenly educational program which featured 32 secondary schools competing at different episodes at the NTA Yenagwa studio. Correspondent Dearkume Ululu reports that the competition is basically to encourage science education in both public and private schools in Bayelsa State.
The 9th edition of NTA Science Quiz, sponsored by the Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, tagged Grab a Star, Reach for the Sky, is aimed at laying foundation for future scientists by encouraging the study of science, especially among secondary schools in Bayelsa State, and promoting scientific literacy and critical thinking.
It's always been private schools that are coming tops, but this time around, public schools came to the finals, and a public school has taken the first and second position, meaning that what government is doing is yielding results positively.
the old narrative of public schools not doing well, I think that is being jettisoned right now with the emergence of the first and second schools as public schools, you understand? And we have the only surviving private school came out overall third position. It's a good thing, there's improvement. That's what we have seen this time around. NTA is at it again. That's what NTA does, continue to up the ante.
32 secondary schools selected to participate in the competition were tested on mathematics, chemistry, physics, computer, and agricultural science.
Which of the following irrigation methods is most water efficient? A. Furrow irrigation. B. Sprinkler irrigation. C. Drip irrigation. D. Flood irrigation. And E. Overhead irrigation.
At the end of the competition, Kayama Grammar School, Kayama, emerged the overall winner with 18 points. Federal Government Girls College Imirigi came second with 14 points, while Apes Academy emerged third.
Indeed, this competition has done a great thing in our life. It has exposed our talent to the world.
It was challenging, but also interesting, and it really helped me to look into my subjects a little bit more.
It has been a wonderful competition. I thank God for everything. Me, the representative of Apex Academy, I promise to try my best next time to take first.
We emerging as winners of this competition does not mean that we have a special conditions or special attributes that make us winners, but just by the grace of God. Every school in Bayelsa State have the equal opportunity to win, and God being on our side has made us victorious today.
The acting general manager, NTA Yenegua, Mary Ekanem, presented plaques and certificates to participants to the overall winner, second place winner, and the third place winner, respectively.
As NTA, we have 3 magnets in NTA, which is to educate, entertain, and inform. And this is part of the things that is expected of us in NTA, and that every competition has a beginning and it has an end, and there must always be a winner. And a winner has come out in today's competition. And my advice for them is that because they have won today, they should always dream not to come down. They should remain on top all the time.
First, second, and third place winners of the competitions are automatically qualified for the 10th edition of the competitions. In Yenegua, Dianokume Ulolo, NTA News.
In other news, elder statesman and former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Okonde, has acknowledged the federal government's commitment to closing the capacity gap in the health sector, pointing to the infrastructural development witnessed by the Federal University of Health Sciences in Ila-Orogun. Tokpe Alabi reports that the elder statesman commendation is coming on the heels of the grand inauguration of some of the completed projects of the institution by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa.
Federal government through this University of Health Sciences sited in Ila-Orogun, among others, seeks to inspire and cultivate physician scholars and leaders who will positively impact health of people and society through transformative and socially responsive medical education. The inauguration of new facilities is aimed at enhancing health education and infrastructure, marking a significant step in the university's growth since its establishment in 2021.
You've been put in a place, do this, and you are doing it. What could come out of that is also that, yes, we may find people who may express greater interest in our institution.
We want to build differentiators, and we want to replicate some of those things that I've seen outside the country. This can be all, we are specialized university.
We want to put our commitment as number one to make sure that our patient that comes here comes safe, and we treat them diligently.
Because we acquire electronic databases, these databases need users to be trained on how to use them. So from time to time, we do what we call soft skills.
For all those who contributed, to the development of the university, believed to be one of the fastest growing campus in the country, including Nigeria's elder statesman and former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akande, investing in teaching, active learning, research and character development, ethics and professional excellence will in no small measure change the nation's narratives.
Like it happens in Nigeria now, that we concede every best to Ibadan. I will expect Fonsi to be ranked one of the best in my lifetime.
From the laboratories where students have been undergoing professional tutelage to the library where reading culture has gradually been resuscitated, it has been a whole lot of experience for the students, especially for Korib Olamilekon Ajishafe, a 200-level medical student who was once the overall best student in West African School Certificate Examination.
I met with very brilliant people, of course. So that was what I discovered, that people that are going for these universities are not just random people.
And there's a level of competition here that if you can't keep up, you're out.
When you compare yourself with students of other schools, you know the value you are getting.
With the feat FUPSI now attains, Nigeria will be welcoming physicians carefully cultivated to add value in the health sector. From Ilorin, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
Thank you, Tokpe. And still speaking on education, about 2,000 students of tertiary institutions from oil-producing communities in Rivers State have benefited from the Oil Mining Lease OML 17 bursary scheme to ease the burden of education on families in the areas. Osinachi Samuel reports.
Pressures of struggling to pay school fees and meeting daily survival needs are parts of the reasons identified as fueling tension between companies and host communities. The launch of the Host Communities Development Trust Bursary and Grant Scheme is changing the narrative as anchored on the Petroleum Industry Act. The trust is giving host communities a voice, empowering them to decide what needs to be addressed with their 3% derivation. The 10 communities of Iche, Uyibo, Upiapo, and Ikwere chose education to come first.
Even though sometimes we complain that there are delays, but by the end of the day we are happy that things are done and done properly.
With the bursary scheme officially launched, students who once feared dropping out of school now hold their checks as a symbol of renewed hope. As stakeholders say, the process is structured, transparent, and guaranteed development.
I was so happy because it helps me. It sorts a lot of things for my school. I want to appreciate all of you for helping my community and others.
We want to assure you that with this kind gesture, we're going to make a great impact in our various communities.
This scheme aligns directly with the Trust's development priorities, Hess Energy's development agenda, particularly in reference to quality education, gender equality, and reduced inequalities.
So it's as sustainable as we want to make it, because every year they're short of 3% 2% from Hess. So it's very sustainable.
As beneficiaries stepped forward to say thank you, the message became clear. The intervention is more than financial assistance, an investment in peace, knowledge, and the future to restore trust, reduce tension, while replacing conflict with cooperation among Rivers communities. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
As the Harmattan season and Yuletide approach, the Federal Fire Service is reviewing preparedness levels to prevent fire outbreaks and improve response. Victor Azu reports.
Have set in just as festive activities increase. Both come with increased risk of fire outbreaks across the country. In a virtual meeting with all zonal controllers, the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Samuel Olumode, reviews preparedness levels and operational plans, stressing the need for Victor Azu, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission says it has received 422,942 complaints for the month of November 2025 on human rights violations across the country. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made this known at the presentation of the November 2025 Human Rights Situation Dashboard in Abuja. The human rights violations includes both state and non-state actors, the Commission says.
Education and denial of inheritance rights. These violations often happen quietly, behind closed doors, but their impact is devastating, especially for women, children, and the elderly.
Then you talk about
the release of 5 inmates of the Medium Correctional Center, Abeokuta. Yemi Dalemo reports.
Human rights organizations in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, were united in the work against terrorism and extremism, advocating the need for every Nigerian to unite for peace and stop kidnapping, cultism, violent extremism, ritual killings, and every forms of human rights abuses and violations.
Say no to terrorism! No! Say no to kidnapping! No! Say no to violent extremism! No!
The visiting Sea Dogs, whose mission is dedicated to humanitarian work, fighting social ills and upholding humanistic ideals, was at the Ibarra Medium Correctional Center to secure the freedom of some inmates still incarcerated because of their inability to pay fines. 5 of such cases were identified and procedures commenced immediately to take them to court for their freedom, while another was identified to be provided with legal assistance for appeal.
This place is too small for the number of you that are here. And you still have a lot of things to do to your country. You still have a lot of things to do to your country, to do to your family.
Part of our activities that we do for humanity. And we also promise that all of that projects will be looked into.
I am amazed by the things I have seen. You know, the picture we have outside is very different.
Diaspora investment in Nigeria's tourism industry will not only create jobs, reduce poverty, and preserve the nation's cultural heritage, but also position tourism as a major contributor to Nigeria's gross domestic product. These were some of the key points raised during the 2025 Emerging Abuja Investment Forum, held under the theme, Bridging Worlds by Turning Diaspora Wealth into Homegrown Opportunities. Thomas Obetere reports.
The 2025 Emerging Abuja Investment Forum, held as part of the Federal Capital Territory's Groovy December celebrations, convened key stakeholders in tourism, hospitality, entrepreneurship, and the Nigerian diaspora to explore investment opportunities in Nigeria. Through presentations on tourism, culture, real estate, and startups, speakers emphasized the strong economic potential of Nigerian tourism sector and urged Nigerians in diaspora to invest in the country's culture, hospitality, entertainment, and real estate industries.
Today, we're also launching the Emerging Abuja Diaspora Investment Desk. Now, that desk is to create a rallying point where Nigerians in diaspora can touch and hit direct, credible investment information, opportunity, and access.
They called on Nigerians in diaspora to invest in festival and tourism infrastructure, such as resorts, guest houses, retail outlets, cultural hubs, and performance venues, noting that these investments would improve visitors' experience and boost local economies.
Whatever they can bring in to invest in this value chain will no doubt raise the economy and the economic activities of the industry.
They can take advantage of real estate investment trusts, which is more like a collection attraction of investors who become part owners to some real estate asset. And in that way, we can scale up investment.
Participants at the forum expressed optimism that sustained diaspora engagement supported by enabling government policies would unlock long-term economic growth and position Nigeria as a leading tourism destination in Africa. In Abuja, Thomas Ugbeteri, NTA News.
That concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Norlin Ebel Ahmed.